What's up, everybody? It's your favorite arms dealer's favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Warbotrons Sly Fox or something like that. It's Swindle. First impressions right out of the box. Sturdy unit. Always very excited to get the first or to get a new Warbotron figure. They feel great out of the box. It's only until you get to messing with them that you realize there may be something rotten in Denmark. But just to get this out of the way so that you guys aren't on pins and needles, I like him. I like him a lot. Kind of restored my faith in the line, but we'll get into it. I like to start with accessories, but before we do so, I want to say that the figure did not come with a comic book. I guess maybe either A, they're getting a lot of flack about their broken English translations, or B, they're falling on financial difficulties, and I'm hoping it's A, because I really don't want to even imagine this set not coming to fruition. Let's talk about the accessories. So it comes with this rifle, or this pistol rather. Fits really well in his hand. Looks good. Could use some paint apps, but whatever. Solid piece of plastic. And standard little peg unit. Works well. This one, on the other hand, has some of the brawl syndrome. Kind of hard to get in and out, as you can see. And I kind of wish that this wasn't in this fluorescent purple. You know, I mean, it's not a deal breaker or anything, but it's a little disappointing. This does fold down, exposing a peg. There's pictures of him online with it pegged in behind him, but it doesn't really work right. If you kind of angle the arms just right, you can kind of get it to work, but it's barely in there, as you can see. But if you're dead set on that, you can get it to work. It's just kind of a pain. Plastic feels good, feels like the other two. The fit and finish on this is a little bit better than the other two have been, which is nice. I will say that the paint is pretty top notch. We got this blue in here, we got silvers, we got grays, we got purples. You know, it's really nice. This backpack here kind of looks like a backpack, so I'm okay with it as the kibble bit. And there's a number of different things you can do with it, and we'll talk about that when we get to transformation. Paint-wise, there are a few errors on mine. There's some red right there. Let me zoom in. Red right there, and it's somewhere else too. The red kind of got away from them. But for the most part, it's pretty solid, I will say. The light piping is pretty good. It's not setting the world on fire or anything, but you know, that's picking it up some. Let me see if I can't adjust what we got here. So that kind of gets you, there you go. There it is. Articulation-wise, head is on a ball joint, but you don't get much down due to this plastic here, just the molding of it. The shoulders are swiveled and hinge out. So you got that. You got a bicep swivel. You got an elbow that gets you 90 degrees. You got a wrist swivel. The waist, even with the backpack, can get you 360. So that's nice. Hips are on universals. Wish they were ratcheted. You know, when you were talking about $100 for a figure, I'd like to have a ratchet or two. Universals for the hips, and then a thigh swivel. Knee gets you way past 90 degrees, which is pretty cool. You know, you can probably, if you yeah, you know, you can get him running, and you know, really good joints on him all around. He's solid. He is an improvement. And I like that. Uncle Skullface likes improvements. But I'm going to get a lot of my personal feelings on this in the final thoughts. In the meantime, let's get him transformed. So, first things first, we have this piece of kibble here. There's a lot you can do with this kibble on the back. You can split this open and kind of have the two halves of the backpack. I prefer it to be together as one, till all are one, if you will. And now I'm not going to be able to, there we go. You can have this piece out and then this piece down like that. You know, you can have this piece down like that. There's just a number of different things you can do with it. I like, personally, I like this one where it's tucked in behind like that. That speaks to my sensibilities for whatever reason. But, you know, you paid for it, Jack. You do whatever you want with it. So anyway, start by lifting this piece up here, which is the front of the Jeep. And this goes up and over the head. And it has two pegs in there that tab into these two holes, and it's The first time you do it especially, it feels like you're going to break it. You're not. It's just a really tight fit. This head goes back, and it can be face up. It doesn't really bother it. Like so. And then that's that bit. The hands are like so many others before him. Find the little part that opens up. Push the hands in. And you really got to make sure that they're in there for this to all close nicely. And let me see if I can't get it even better fit. All the way in there, girl. There you go. That's what you want. Open that up. Tuck her in. Buffalo Bill style. See in this one? And this one's not fitting quite right. But there is a way for it too, because I've transformed this guy a few times now. Let's try. You know what we also don't do here at Skullface Reviews? We don't give up. That's what I tell my daughter. So, there you go. That closed it right. So, I guess that does matter which way it's in there. But you see, like people say, now, let me stop for a second. People are starting to say that I'm excessively critical. And here's the thing. It's not that I'm excessively critical to the point that I can't look past things. This doesn't all square up right. And I can look past it. I'm okay with it. I'm just going to point it out because that's what I feel like is kind of my job in this thing of ours. Here's the thing. It's not that I'm excessively critical, but I'm not cutting anybody any slack. They're not cutting me any deals on that price point. Now are they? They start cutting deals on the price points to the consumers, I'll start cutting them a little bit more slack when I review their shit. Back to the game. So the next thing we want to do is, it's a series of getting the hinges right. This whole piece here untabs and right at this point, and it's really taut like a tiger. Get her up, get some of this kibble out of the way, and then this is where it becomes like a tuck away game. This unhinges on both sides here. They untab. And they're actually really solid tabs and ports, which is pretty awesome. And you want to have the gray piece down at the bottom. You have this at the arm at a 90-degree angle facing back, I believe. Oh no, I guess facing to the side. And then tuck in that there, and that'll keep it solid. And this is one of those things where it's like harder to explain, but when you do it, it does feel pretty natural. Pretty intuitive, to use a good reviewer terminology. Intuitive. Alright, so we got that pretty much squared away. Let's get down to the feet. This is a lot simpler. Tuck up the spur. Fold her up. Both sides. What I like about Warbotron, a lot of their stuff so far, is like they have these little hinging panels that are just to fill out space. I dig that. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily do that. They'd be okay with that. And I think they really try to make an effort to clean that up. So fold that back, fold these up, and then tab them together. And I will point out here that I got a stress mark on that little tab there, and I am almost 100% sure that it is only a matter of time before it breaks on me. But that being said, I don't think it will affect much of anything. It's just a little extra stability, but I am pointing it out to you to be mindful. And I'm just being extremely careful here as to not cause any additional stress on that little tab. So you got it like this, and then you fold it back. All right. You've probably done that once or twice with a few figures. And then there you have this bit. Now, it's just a matter of putting this kibble in place. And here we run into the majority of our QC issues, and I'll go through them step by step. This one's fine. Windshield, money, no problems. This one, I got a pretty significant stress mark right, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, right there. And the reason why it's there is because there's a series of things that tab in here. You got a tab here that goes here, and you got a tab here that goes there. This goes around the circle, and then this tab's in there. And normally it wouldn't be such of a big deal to have that one in, but because there is this line work in the other side, that plastic is going to be, you know, significantly weaker there. It's not going to be reinforced. So just be mindful. Same on the other side. And this is kind of used not unlike blast-offs, where it's just kind of like this is the stabilization of the vehicle, which I'm okay with. I would just prefer that it be a little bit more, how do you say, made of sterner stuff. There we go. There we go. Tab in our accessories. I'm not sure which one goes on which side historically, but forgive me. And there you have him. And he's pretty beefy. He's nice. You know, he rolls like a champ. And I don't know, I like this little guard up here, and you know, I like the paint on the windshield, and it looks very military-esque, you know, aside from the pink gun. I even like, you know, these are tabbed in to the bottom here, but if you untab them, you know, you can almost get like a pose like it's turning, you know what I mean? Which is, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm just that big of a nerd, but that does stuff for me. Let's do some vehicle comparisons for the sake of it. We don't, you know, I'm sure that most of us don't. There's that other red mark. Told you I'd find it. Uncle Skullface has got your back, so it's right there. That's where it is. And but there's a lot of like the shocks in there are painted, and you know, there's a lot of accents on this thing. You know, you don't usually get that much paint apps anymore. You know, and it's less and less every year that goes by. But anyway, enough talk. Let's get to that. So there he is next to his G1. And there he is next to the Fans Project one. Now, just to be excessively critical, or maybe not excessively, but just, I mean, this, in all fairness, this is excessively critical of me. But, to follow suit, one thing I always liked about Swindle was this black and yellow markings. And they have it, and they have it, and I'm not sure if I lean up against him. No. Well, now it's just a mess. Anyway, there's no real room for him to have it at all. And, you know, whatever. You know, it's fine. But I don't know. I really liked him. It was like a defining feature for me. But, you know, there you go. You can see the color's a little off, too. But as we'll show you in the size, or will. Like it's me and my team of conglomerates around here. I got a whole board of faculty members working around the clock. We'll get you. We'll make sure. Whatever. I will make sure to show you in the comparison section. This color, although it's not exactly accurate, it does work like a champ, and they look great together with the other two Warbotron figures. Anyway, oh, you guys caught me at a weird moment. I'll tell you what. I got my G1 guy out for you guys. You have no idea what that's like on my shelf, but that's just to show how much I love you guys. Okay, so here's the deal. These are my G1 Decepticons. Bruticus is all the way in the back, and it's such a pain to get to that I haven't even returned Blast Off to him since I did the Warbotron Blast Off. So, for everybody playing at home, the goal here is to get that Bruticus out of this shelf without knocking anything over. Alright? Can we do it? Are you with me? Here we go. Oh, man. Oh, God. I hope all the mint and sealed box collectors are watching. Oh, my goodness. First of all, it shouldn't even be set up that way. Secondly, there's too many on the shelf.
thirdly, they shouldn't even be out of the box. You know how much I care about stuff like that? I mean, these are ones I had as a kid. Watch this. That's alright. He's been through rougher stuff than that. I was a rough kid. Ready? Let's get him. Oh, it's too much, isn't it? It's almost too much. It's almost too much. Got him. Size comparison wise, here's a G1, come a long way. And here's the Fans Project one. And I gotta say that my Fans Project Combaticons might be on the chopping block here pretty soon. And here he is with his teammates. And I gotta tell you, seeing them together, it feels good. Even with Warbotron's, you know, kind of rocky start, you know, how can something so wrong feel so right? That's a pretty tough looking team, even with his crazy face. So final thoughts, the name of the game here is improvement. You know, after the brawl situation, I started to really lose faith in this line. Because while my brawl is fine, he's far from perfect. This one got a little closer. You know, if brawl started to worry me. The question always comes down to, would I recommend this figure? And the answer is, I can't really answer that until after Onslaught. I think a lot of this depends on how they handle Onslaught. I would put Blast Off at like a 7, and then I would have put Brawn at like a 6. And I'm talking third-party scale. We're not comparing this against, you know, some of these other jokers, like a Deluxe Trailbreaker or Trail Cutter or whatever. I'm comparing this against third-party and Masterpiece figures. So, you know, I would have put Brawn at like a 6, and then this guy I'd probably put it an 8. This guy is an improvement, which is awesome. That's what we wanted. It's less flash. It's less stress marks. Everything's a little smoother, everything's a little tighter. It's what a company is supposed to do, improve. It's the Unique Toys move. I'm really happy with this figure. I'm glad I got him, and that's all I can say. $100 is a little much for no kind of ratchets and, you know, a couple stress marks. You know, it's right there on the cusp of feeling like it's worth it. But the charms about this figure are the transformation's a little bit more complicated. There's a little bit more engineering, so you're getting a little bit more bang with your buck for it. The paint apps are really close to being impeccable. Overall, just funness of them is just like the other two. You can't help but like keep picking them up and messing with them, so to speak. The line work and molding is great. You know, it's just those few things that are keeping this thing away from being perfection. But I think it all hinges on Onslaught. However, I think that the only thing that Onslaught will really affect is the combine mode. And I got news for you, they're looking so good together that I'm not sure I care. That might make me a terrible person. Not entirely sure. Anyway, look, we hit the 500 mark. I told you there would be a prize contest for the 500 subscriber mark, and there will be. I just didn't know it was going to happen in a week and a half, so I'm kind of taken back by it and a little underprepared. But I still plan on having something up this weekend for it. And then we're going to stretch the next goal, I think, to 750, because you guys ain't going to be eating me out of house and home. I got kids to feed. That being said, I want to let you know I am very honored, touched, humbled, you know, by the amount of love I got from people, and, you know, people saying I'm seeing it shared in different places, and it's all very much appreciated, and I tip my hat to all you guys. So anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.